Picture this. It's a Saturday afternoon, suburban street, neighborhood barbecue, people laughing, plates of food, kids running around. Two men are standing near the table. The first man, let's call him Marcus, pulled up in a brand new BMW, fresh designer sneakers, gold watch on his wrist. He's talking about his recent trip to Dubai. He picks up the tab for the whole table without blinking. Everyone there thinks Marcus is the most successful person at that barbecue. The second man is quiet. Plain white t-shirt, jeans. He drove a 2009 Honda Civic. Nobody really knows what he does. He listens more than he talks. Most people at that barbecue barely noticed him. Now here's where this story gets interesting. Marcus, the BMW, the watch, the Dubai stories, has $11,000 in savings and $340,000 in debt. The quiet man in the plain t-shirt, $650 million. And nobody at that barbecue had any idea. Now, you might think that's a rare exception, a one-in-a-million story. But here's what I found after spending years studying how real wealth actually works. It's not rare at all. The wealthiest people in the room are almost always the ones you'd never suspect. And that invisibility is not an accident.
I'm Alex, and I spend a lot of time studying the behavioral patterns of people who build real, lasting wealth. Not the people who look wealthy, the people who actually are. And what I keep finding, over and over again, consistently surprises people, because here's the truth most of us have never been told. We've been taught to read wealth through signals. Cars, clothes, addresses, vacations, watches. But those signals were never designed to tell you who is wealthy. They were designed to tell you who wants you to think they are. And if you've been spending your money trying to send those same signals, this video is going to change how you see everything. Because today, we're going to break down exactly how the silent millionaire lives, how they think about money, why invisible wealth compounds faster than visible wealth, and what you can start doing differently, starting right now. If that sounds like something you need to hear, make sure you subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversation we have on this channel every single week. Let's get into it.
Let me ask you something honest. When you imagine a wealthy person, what do you see? Most people see a mansion, a sports car, a private jet, a Rolex, business class photos on Instagram. And here's the thing. That image didn't come from nowhere. Think about every movie you've ever watched where the wealthy character shows up. How did you know they were rich? Because of what they wore, what they drove, where they lived. Hollywood has been training your brain for decades to associate spending with success. And then social media arrived, and it made everything 10 times worse. Because now the algorithm rewards display. It rewards showing off. It rewards the Dubai trip, the bottle service, the new car in the driveway. The algorithm does not reward the person quietly maxing out their investment accounts every month. That person doesn't go viral. That person doesn't get followers. So your entire social feed, every single day, is showing you the loudest version of wealth. And slowly, without you even realizing it, your brain started to believe that loud wealth is real wealth. But here's what I want you to understand. There is a concept I call the logo to net worth ratio. And the idea is simple. The louder the signal, the designer bag, the leased luxury car, the business class Instagram post, the lower the actual net worth tends to be. Think about the person driving an $80,000 Mercedes on a $75,000 salary. Think about the influencer with 400,000 followers renting a mansion for a weekend photo shoot. Think about the guy at your office who always shows up in designer clothes and carries $60,000 in credit card debt. Loud signal, quiet bank account. The wealthy people I study, it's almost always the opposite. Quiet signal, very loud bank account. And once you see that pattern, you cannot unsee it. But here's the question that really matters. What does $650 million actually look like in real life? What does invisible wealth look like day to day? Because I promise you, it looks nothing like what you've been shown.
Let me take you back to the quiet man at the barbecue. He wakes up at 6:15 in the morning. He makes coffee at home, then drives his 2009 Honda Civic to the same coffee shop he's been going to for 11 years. He orders a medium black coffee, $2.75. He lives in the same house he bought in 2003. It's paid off. 3 bedrooms, nice neighborhood. Not impressive. His neighbors think he's a mid-level manager at some company they've never heard of. He has never posted his net worth on Instagram. He has never leased a car. He has never bought something to impress someone. What he has done, quietly, consistently, for 30 years, is own things. Equity in 4 private businesses, 2 commercial properties, a stock portfolio that generates more money while he sleeps than most people earn in a year. And here's the part that matters most. He doesn't live this way because he can't afford better. He lives this way because he understood something. Most people never figure out every dollar you spend on appearance is a dollar you're not putting to work. Now, I want to break down exactly how silent millionaires think and behave, because there are 5 patterns that show up almost every single time. Number 1, they drive boring cars, not because they're cheap, because they ran the math.
A $90,000 car versus a $25,000 car. Take that $65,000 difference. Invested at 8% for 20 years, you're looking at over $300,000 in lost wealth. They didn't choose the boring car. They chose the $300,000. Number 2, they live in houses that surprise people. Not tiny, not run down, just not what you'd expect. No McMansion, no impressive address, high cash flow, low overhead, no financial prison. Number 3, they don't talk about money. Specifically, they don't perform financial success. No posts about investment returns, no bragging about the portfolio. The quieter the money, the safer it grows. Number 4, they own things instead of renting status. Someone else leases the BMW. The silent millionaire bought the building the BMW dealership is inside. That's the difference between consuming status and owning assets.
One makes you look wealthy. One makes you wealthy. Number 5, they are impossible to read at a dinner table. They tip well. They dress simply. They ask more questions than they answer. You'd never know. And that is completely intentional. But here's where this gets really interesting, because it's not just about lifestyle choices. There is a mathematical reason why invisible wealth compounds faster than visible wealth. And when you see the numbers, everything clicks into place. Let me show you 2 people. Same city, same job, same income. $120,000 a year. Person A, the performer, leases a car, $900 a month, lives in a status neighborhood, $3,200 a month in rent, spends $800 a month on clothes, dining, experiences worth posting. That's roughly $2,500 a month above what they actually need to live well. Amount invested every month? Almost nothing. Person B, the silent builder, drives a paid-off car worth $18,000, lives in a decent apartment in an unsexy neighborhood, $1,600 a month, spends money on experiences that matter to them, not signals that impress people who don't. Amount invested every month? $2,500. Now let's run the 30-year math. $2,500 a month, invested consistently at 8%. That's $3,400,000. Person A at 55? Impressive-looking lifestyle, $80,000 in savings. Still needs to work. 1 bad month away from serious financial stress. Person B at 55? Invisible lifestyle, $3.4 million growing quietly. Could walk away from their job tomorrow and never look back. Same salary, same city. 30 years later, completely different realities.
The only difference was what they chose to signal. And here's the reframe I want you to sit with. Every luxury purchase isn't just an expense. It's a future wealth trade. The man with the BMW didn't just buy a car. He traded over $300,000 of future wealth for the feeling of driving a BMW today. The designer bag isn't just a bag. It's a down payment on an investment account that will never exist. The status apartment isn't just rent. It's the retirement fund that quietly never got started. I'm not saying never enjoy your money. I'm saying understand what you're actually trading every single time you spend to perform.
Because here's what most people don't realize. The psychology behind why we do this in the first place is actually more expensive than the purchases themselves.
Nobody buys a Gucci belt because they love Italian leather. They buy it because they need other people to update their opinion of them. That's not a financial decision. That's an emotional one. And emotional decisions are expensive. Here's how the trap works. You feel insecure about where you are financially, so you buy a visible signal to feel better. The signal works for a little while. Then it becomes normal. You stop noticing it. You need a bigger signal. You spend more. The wealth gap widens. You feel more insecure, and you repeat the whole cycle. The trap isn't the purchase. The trap is that the purchase never works permanently, so you keep buying. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. The new car feeling? Gone in 90 days. The excitement of the new apartment? Gone in 4 months. The status boost from the new watch? You stop seeing it within weeks. But the financial obligation? The lease payment? The rent premium? The credit card balance? That stays. Long after the feeling is gone, the cost remains. The silent millionaire broke this cycle, not because they're emotionless, not because they don't enjoy nice things, but because they stopped needing external validation for their financial identity. Their net worth is their proof, not their car. And that shift from performing wealth to building it changes everything. Think at it this way. Man A looks wealthy, feels financially anxious, one job loss away from serious crisis, needs his lifestyle to feel successful. Man B looks ordinary, feels completely free, could stop working tomorrow, doesn't need a single person to know how much he's worth. Which one would you actually rather be? And here's the uncomfortable question this brings up. Are you already doing things that are quietly making that kind of freedom impossible?
Now, I can already hear what some of you are thinking. Alex, I work hard. I deserve to enjoy my money. Absolutely. 100%. Nobody here is saying live like a monk. Nobody is saying deny yourself everything. The silent millionaire isn't cheap. They're intentional. They spend freely on things that genuinely matter to them. They just refuse to spend money performing for people who will forget about it by next week. There's a difference between enjoying your money and spending your money to manage other people's opinions of you. One builds your life, one builds your image. Second objection. Not everyone can invest $2,500 a month. Fair point. But the math works at every scale. $200 a month invested silently beats $2,000 a month spent visibly. Every single time. The principle doesn't require a high income. It requires a different set of priorities. And the last one, what's the point of being rich if nobody knows? And I want you to really sit with that question, because that question itself is the trap. The goal was never to be known as rich. The goal is to be free. Man B can walk away from any job, any city, any situation tomorrow. Can man A?
So let's make this real. Here are 4 questions I want you to ask yourself honestly. Not someday. Right now. Question 1. What is your appearance tax? Look at your monthly spending. How much of it exists specifically to signal something to someone else? The premium apartment in the impressive neighborhood. The car lease you stretch for. The clothes bought to be seen in. Add it up. That number is your appearance tax. And that number, invested instead, becomes your freedom fund. Question 2. Are you accumulating assets or accumulating signals? Assets appreciate. They generate income. They compound. Signals depreciate. They create obligations. They impress people who forget. Be honest about which side of that line most of your money is going toward. Question 3. What is your freedom number? If you lost your income tomorrow, how long could you survive without changing your lifestyle? Most performers? 30 to 60 days. Most silent builders? Years. That gap is the real measure of financial security, not your salary, not your address. Question 4. What is one invisibility shift you can make today? One visible spending decision you could quietly downgrade and redirect the difference into an asset. Car lease to a paid-off car. Invest the difference. Status apartment to a decent apartment.
Invest the difference. Designer wardrobe to a simple wardrobe. Invest the difference. You don't have to do all four at once. Start with one because the math compounds from the very first step.
Remember that barbecue? Marcus is still there, still talking about Dubai, still performing. People are still impressed. The quiet man left 20 minutes ago. Nobody really noticed. Nobody asked where he was going. He went home, made dinner, checked on his portfolio, and went to sleep. Somewhere across the city, Marcus is checking his credit card balance, wondering why his salary never feels like enough. Here's what I want to leave you with. Wealth was never supposed to be loud. Wealth is quiet. Wealth is patient. Wealth doesn't need your attention. Wealth doesn't need anyone's approval. The silent millionaire doesn't hide their wealth because they're ashamed of it. They hide it because they understood something most people spend their entire lives missing. The goal was never to look free. The goal was to actually be free. So next time you see someone in a plain t-shirt, driving a 2009 Honda Civic, ordering a medium black coffee, pay attention. You might be looking at the richest person in the room.
If this video changed how you think about wealth, share it with someone in your life who is working incredibly hard, but spending everything on looking successful. This conversation might be exactly what they need to hear. And if you want more of this, the hidden patterns behind real financial freedom, subscribe. Because next week, we're going to talk about the exact assets silent millionaires use to quietly build that kind of wealth and why most people never even look at them. I'll see you there.